Document 12.00 is our planning materiality document. It is the first document in the planning process of our review engagement. In section 10 we covered all the engagement acceptance and continuance working papers. Now we want a materiality so that we can start ticking some boxes in this review engagement in terms of deciding how we're going to execute the review itself. So here we would go and document users, provide any comments if necessary. Just note there is a reference here to ISRE 2400 paragraph A72 to be aware of. We go and pull in various bases. You can go and change that base with a drop down if you would like to. I'm going to keep it to opening, prior 1, prior 2. These are the approximate balances. Please go and ensure that if you are, for instance, going to use sales or revenues as the base for your materiality, please just do go and make sure that it is the appropriate base to use, or sorry, that the balance is actually appropriate, that you do have the correct balance from the financial statements. We do try and get it as accurate as possible, but there are instances where that will differ from what is on your financial statements depending on how you've linked various sections. You then decide which base you would like to use for materiality. Is it opening, prior 1 or prior 2? It needs to be one of these three options. What is the broad nature of the entity? So is it profit oriented, not for profit, specialized in some way? I'm going to go for profit orientated, and then just discuss why you've used opening figures to determine your materiality, just to ensure that your rationale is documented appropriately. Then in action 3 we're looking at percentages. Now these percentages are from discussion paper 6 issued by SICA in 1984, I think it is. We've not yet converted these to the IFAC. In our audit methodologies, this is something that URBA, our local regulator, has requested us to use, or has indicated that this they believe is the industry norm. We do think, however, that we can probably change these to the IFAC guides, because URBA will not be reviewing review engagements as far as I am aware. So we'd appreciate feedback in terms of what percentages you'd like to see here in our review methodology. Once you've had a look at what the possible bases are, you would then go and type in a selected materiality. It needs to be less than one of these possibles, but you need to then go and justify that I'm using net profit at 10% for this materiality, so go and give a comprehensive reason as to that materiality. This figure, before I insert anything, will just simply be a 1. We don't calculate an average or the greater or rounded or anything. This is a professional judgment matter. You need to go and decide what materiality is going to be for this engagement in each situation. Also, please note, if you're familiar with audits, there is no performance materiality calculated here. We are just using materiality. We do have some specific materiality calculations, so if you want a specific materiality for one of your components or an area of your review. But then we also do have a clearly trivial threshold which we use just so that where you have misstatements which are less than this value, you don't have to accumulate them on your overs and unders schedule because they are clearly trivial. Now we do have a sheet here called AFS Details. The purpose of this working paper is just for you to see where the balances are coming from in the financial statement. So if there are differences, you can maybe track down where those differences are coming from this working paper. So you'll see I've got a revenue figure here of 215 million. In this case it does agree, but if there's a difference, it's a starting point of going and trying to understand why. And you'll see each of these is a reference to the lead schedule, and you can just go and open up the lead schedule and try and figure out where variances are coming from, if that is required.